Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Well, it's evening around here. I'm just gonna share my link on some different places, and then we're gonna get started. How are you all doing tonight? Let's share this. Hello guys, welcome, 3 viewers. Don't be shy, come say hello. Just sharing my link on a couple of different places. And then we are ready to get going. Let's go to Twitter. Twitter. Have to log in, okay. Let's see. Did not match our records. Alright, what's my Twitter password? Alright, let's see. One more try. I'm trying to share my link on Twitter, but I forgot my Twitter password. Can you all hear me? Can you say hello in the chat so I know you can hear me? Alright, I found my Twitter, but it's my wrong Twitter. One more try. Yay, found it. Okay. Shared. Hey, I see Chew the Gum, and I see Michael, and I see Kylo Juju. Hey, welcome guys. So the last stream I had was a bit of a surprise stream. It was an unannounced stream, and I did that on purpose because I felt like I wanted to do something different. I was just playing around a little bit. So I see Chew the Gum, I see Michael, I see Kylo, I see Nathaniel Garcia. Hola, Nathaniel. Welcome. Kylo really wants to name the continents. We might do that, yeah, if we can get to that point. And this will be the last stream for a while because Sunday I'm leaving to my summer job. I have a seasonal job, which I do for about half a year, and I don't have much time. All right, let's switch screens. Boom. Inception. All right. Here we are in Photoshop. I see Stokken Ilyev and another name in Russian letters. Welcome. I hope you guys will enjoy. So, good news, bad news. Good news is I am ready to continue this map. The bad news is, well, it's not really bad news, it's actually like medium news. It is the fact that I had to flatten down my layers. Let me quiet this music from the YouTube audio library. I had to flatten down my layers. This is because Photoshop, when you have a lot of layers with a lot of layer styles, it becomes super duper duper slow. And to be able to work on it, I had to flatten down the layers, which means that I won't be able to edit those individual layers but I will have to paint on top, which is okay. Last time, so I had a surprise stream showing how I made brushes and how I made how I made brushes and how I made ornaments. That was a surprise stream, but before that, the one that was part of the series, we worked on the ocean layer, we made rivers and we made lakes. And now I want to round off texturing this place and finishing it off a little. To get started, there's a couple of things that annoy me. And the things that annoy me is that Photoshop isn't that good with rivers. With the brush that... Alright, how do I explain this properly? So Photoshop misses a function that ArtRage does have, which is whatever stroke you make, it will taper off, it will fade off in a smooth line. And in Photoshop you can put a fade or you can put pen pressure, but not along the line. It's always the same type of distance. So that means that when I make rivers, I get these little artifacts like this, which I have to fix by hand. And this can be a bit tedious, but I will do it on the parts, on the bigger parts that annoy me the most. I will just smooth those rivers a little bit, like here. Kylo is already starting to name stuff. Well, super nice that you're starting to name stuff, but I'm not sure if you get to labeling today. I hope so, because it will be kind of the last stream for a while. Chewed Gum can definitely name the crater, because he invented this crater that we made. Alright, so this looks okay. Maybe here. Yeah, this will have to do. Let's check the other big river. Smooth this guy out. There we go. That already makes my day a bit better. The next thing I want to do is I want to have a little bit more detail on the ocean shelf or on the ocean layer. I like this kind of cloudy weather effects that are visible here. So I think I'm gonna add some more, and hopefully, because I flattened the layers down, the smudging will be a bit easier, because the smudging really makes those weather effects look really nice. And I made some new brushes. I made a brushes for random trees. Well, we're not gonna have random trees in the ocean, but it's a nice brush. I made a... Oh, what's this? This is a strange brush. This is definitely not how it's supposed to be. Oh, it's because I need to increase the size. Yeah, that's it. Bloop. Another sort of like random tree dot brush. I made some mountain brushes, things like that. Some mountain tops. So let's just grab a brush, and we'll just blob in some of these white blobs. Let's get rid of this one. This is too bright. Oop. More blobs, blobs, blobs. 6 people in the chat. Hello guys, welcome. We are finishing a map that we've been working on. And currently I'm working on the weather effects on the ocean layer. You could add similar effects on the lands, but I don't like that. Because I want to see all the details on the land. So Let's grab our smudge brush and hopefully it will be a bit smoother now. I'm pressing the 7 key to reduce the strength. Oh, my on-screen keyboard comes up. And looking at it, it seems that the smudging is still very heavy on this layer. Which is a bit sad. Because I want to smudge. Sometimes I just like to smudge. Chew the Gum says, I like how it looks like a top-down view from space. Yeah, I really love to make traditional maps as well. But I find my techniques for this type of map is more on point. So for the sake of tutorials, I will work with this one, with this style. And I see some banding. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna reduce my brush size. Maybe the smudging will be a bit better. Yeah, that's better. This is what I want. This smudge. The one thing I don't like about this particular smudge brush is that it has a bit too much banding in it somehow. So maybe we can use a different smudge brush. Can we try this? Looks good. Okay, so I don't think we're gonna do the smudging because we have Richard asks, where's the beard? I don't know. Where is it? I'm working on my drawing tablet. There is a camera on my drawing tablet. I could try to see if I can add... Whoa, Inception out here. To add a screen... my webcam. No! No. Okay, let's get rid of this. So let me check. I'm gonna put you guys on this screen real quick, and I'm gonna see if I can add my webcam for Richard. This one should be it. Whoa. It looks really weird, but let's do it. Here I am, guys. What? Here's the beard. The beard is getting back. Bloop, bloop, bloop. So this is my camera, alright. Hey, I'm working on my drawing tablet. Here's the beard. Beard is still alive. It's getting back. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of the video capture device. So the beard is still around, guys. So sadly, streaming and doing the smudgy isn't working too well. So I'm gonna fix that. Let's just blur the smudginess like this. And we're just gonna see if we can do it with brushes. Which sort of seemed to work. You know what? We're gonna do it differently. Erase everything, drop in all white, make the mask black, and there we go. We're gonna just play around with brush effects and different transparencies. I don't need my pen for this. All right, let's get going. Boom. I actually took a haircut today. What do you guys think? She did a good job. Those are not cloud pencils, these are height map pencils. I could show you on an empty screen real quick. Let's go like this. So if I just use a black, you can see it's like sort of like mountain height map type brushes, which seem to work for the clouds as well. Just to add some variation in the ocean. With different brushes, different transparencies. Let's take a look. Try a different brush. Oh, this is my... What was this? This what I thought it was my smiley. It's not my smiley. All right. Let's go with this one. These are just brushes that I made. In the previous streams, I really showed how to make those brushes. You can use height map software to extract data and turn them into brushes in Photoshop. All right, different brush. Don't worry about the mess. It's gonna be in here. I'm gonna fix it. I'm just gonna go over it with a couple of layers. I'm gonna just use this one for a second to create some randomness in the ocean, and then I'm gonna go over it with another brush, and the combination of these should make it look pretty good. Oh. Different brush. So how are you guys doing? We're actually starting an interesting project. We're gonna do a map that consists of several. So basically, what we're going to do is we're gonna make one map, and then it's multiple maps make one landmass, and different people draw different styles of maps. So we start with one map, and then someone else starts to draw in from the edges of that map and draw another one, just to get a cool different types of styles map that's gonna be one image. If you wanna join, check Avant Novis community on Facebook. Avant Novis is a friend of mine. He has a really cool role-playing system and stuff like that, and he's made a community of people who like nerdy stuff like making fantasy maps and such. So I'm just clicking around, creating this randomness in here. Let's remove this a little bit. It looks okay. I'm still gonna try to smudge a little bit, just because we can. because just these strokes, this distortion in the cloud layers, makes it feel like these clouds are going in a direction, if you know what I mean. It gives them direction. You could even go like almost like a what do you call those? Those eyes of the storm. I can try to make one here. Let's see. No, I need to go smaller, I think. Let's see. Something like this. You know what I mean? Chudagam says, I'm doing good. He's making another planet. It has an atmosphere that's filled to the brim with chlorine gas. Wow. That's crazy. So, are there aliens living on the chlorine gas planet, or? So, Kylo says, is it me or has the continent no deserts? Well, when I started this stream, I was kind of thinking in the scale of a small island. So I always say use something as a reference that you know. And I know an island called Mallorca near Spain. So I want to try something in that scale. And in that scale, you don't really have super much variation in climate zones and stuff. The inland is going to be a little bit drier than the outside of the land. But it's not going to be Arctic at the bottom, desert in the middle, and Arctic at the top. So maybe there's a little bit too much ice of the storm at the moment. But I do like that they are around. Oops, I keep clicking the stop bar. Maybe I'm just gonna, let's see. Are there pieces that I don't like? This one can go fade off a little bit. I wanna just add another layer. I'm gonna delete the contents of the mask because I kind of like what the what's happening cloud-wise. So if I add new stuff, I want to make sure it doesn't ruin the other clouds that I made. So same story. I'm just gonna drop in some stuff and then add and remove with different brushes. If you guys got any questions. So Chudagam is working on a planet filled to the brim with chlorine. So you say there's no aliens there, but what if you are you gonna have? What are you gonna use the planet for, like story-wise? I like this brush. This brush looks nice and cloudy. Kylo says you can use a twist. Yeah, I'll give that a try. That doesn't sound like a bad idea at all. So there's this filter in Photoshop that does a twirly whirly like this. Let's see. That's actually pretty cool. Thanks for that, Kylo. Let's add another one. why not use a couple of more of those filters? So while we're at it, let's see if this is an easier way to do this. What does this place actually do? No, I don't want it. I want something like, what does this do? Plop. We're just playing around a little bit as well. What does this do? Whoa! Crazy. Share? No. Alright. Trill is the one I'm gonna use out of those. Let's remove some pieces. Insane stuff. I says. Thank you. So I like it. I like it. Maybe it's a bit too much. Something like this. Why not? Let's do it. I like the trill filter. Now I want to add some deeper parts of the ocean. So I think what I will do is I will just grab this color over here and take it down a notch. Something like this. But if I just draw over it like this, there will be no detail, no textures from the stuff underneath. So what I need to do is I need to put it on a different blending mode. So I can paint it in like this, but if I put it on blending mode multiply or something like that, the texture will show through. Let's do multiply and take it down. Just some deeper parts. And we're doing this similar stuff as with the cloud layer. Basically adding some blobs, removing some blobs, just to create a more interesting ocean. Let's grab a different brush. And let's give it some effect as well. Let's put this computer to the test. So we want to go down. Let's see what I'm actually doing. Yeah, this is okay. This is not bad. Let's change the white to a more bluish tint. Inner glow from the center. What I don't like is these layer effects kind of give a border problem, but I'm gonna cut out the border later just to make it a little bit smaller. Let's try like this. So Cypher Logi asks, this looks really realistic. What do you use this kind of map for? So I'm a D&D player. I'm a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm gonna use it for my role-playing games. Although a lot of people prefer like less realistic and more like artistically hand-drawn feel maps. So, some way I got into this style, and this style feels quite easy to me. And I think I'm just, yeah, I like to use it for that. Why not? So it's a little bit different. Alright, this ocean layer is starting to look quite interesting. Thank you, I pride myself on good questioning. Very good Cypher. Yeah. Let's tune down this one a bit more. Something like this. Looks good. So let's get back to working on the land. I've kind of developed a new way of making mountains. While I was playing around, I can show you in my other file. I have these kind of playground files that I use to make new, try out new stuff. And I was working with sort of like Google Map-ish colors, Google Map-ish mountains. And somehow I got to this style. I'm not 100% satisfied with it just yet, but I'm quite happy with how the mountains look. It's a little bit dark to my taste, so I will still work around on this style a lot more before I really start using it. But the thing that I really like is the mountains. So I will try to emulate what I did there. This is the mountain layer. And the nice thing about this layer is it's all layer styles. It's really heavy on the computer, but it is all layer styles. So let me show you. Let's clear this mask. So I've got these mountain brushes. Let's find the one that I like a lot. I made one that I called Mountain's Favorite because that's my favorite at the moment. And how it looks without the layer style, I can show you. It's just like this. Yeah. And then when I play around with white and black, I get some interesting formations. But because I added all these layer styles on my layer, you can see it. I added a bevel and emboss, an inner glow, a satin, an outer glow, and a drop shadow. Now when I throw in my brush, it will automatically become a mountain, complete with colors. You see? So that's pretty cool. What I could do is go to right mouse click, copy layer style, but that won't really show what I did. So that's a little bit like cheating, and you guys won't learn anything from that. So what I will do is I will reference my original file while I'm adding these mountains to this map. But I will try to emulate it by creating those layer styles from scratch. So let's get started. First off, I want a color that I like. That's going to be the base color for the mountains. Chew the gum says, very cool, but your PC is chugging. Yes, it's very difficult. All of these layer styles make the computer very slow, but if you flatten them out, which I basically do with all of my maps, because else I can't make those maps, I need to flatten out some of those layer styles so I can create more of them, then it will work. And I've got a pretty good computer. I'm working on the Wacom. Let's see. The Wacom Mobile Studio Pro 13, which is a good unit. So let's just drop in some mountains like this. No, wait. We're gonna add the whole color to this layer. Mountains doesn't look like anything just yet, but I want to work into the layer mask instead of the normal file, so I can switch around with background and foreground color. All right, let's drop in these. These are just for reference at the moment. These won't be our final mountain formations, but I need something that I can see, where I can see what I'm doing. So then I'm going to the blending options, and here's where the fun starts. First things first, we need a bevel and an emboss. We want to go upwards, not downwards. And I don't want to use pure white and pure black. I want to add some difference in the colors. So let's add a nice color like this. And the same for the darks. Maybe something like this. This is the start. The next thing we want to do is we want to add an inner shadow. We start with inner glow. That's what we want. And we start from the edge. Let's decrease the size a little bit. All right, now work from the center. That's what I think we're doing. I think this is our snow-topped mountains. Let's see. So instead of black, we want to go white. We can go a little bit softer. Maybe something like this. And then we grab an outer glow. That's it, yeah. Change the opacity to something. Let's see, I want to try this greenish tint. And let's try multiply so we can see some of the textures beneath. So the textures beneath won't disappear. Play around with the size a little bit. This is starting to look pretty good. So this is going to be a start place. Terry Ace, hey, hello. Where's the Andes? The Andes is in Asia, right? You guys are talking about the Andes mountains. And And now we can add a satin, and the satin just adds a little bit of weird of randomness on the top of the mountains. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but I like that it adds this weird randomness to the place. And we just want to add some color variation on there so the mountains aren't so monotonous. And with this I'm just playing around a little bit. Something like this. So this will be a good starting point for our mountains. There's something here that I don't like. Let's see which layer style this is. I think it's the satin. Chudagam says, "Greetings, traveler. Welcome to our humble abode of D&D nerds, science geeks, space heads, and yours truly, the bearded beast of wisdom." Thanks. That's funny. Right. Let's see. There's something that I don't like. What is it? I think it has to do with the outer glow as well. I don't want it multiplied. I want it to cover the texture, but not completely. So let's see. I'm going to go a little darker like this. Let me quickly check the playground map. So this one is much more gray tinted. And what I also think is happening is the size of the mountains are more steep. Something like this. But because I increase the size, I have to reduce the shadow mode because it also becomes dark and lighter like this. Alright, let's change the color of this original color. You could just change it by adding a hue and saturation. Alright, let's try this. And this can take hours, this tweaking of these colors and messing around like that. But I like to do that a lot. Let's just make this black. So one thing I learned is never use pure white, because pure white is like almost like a light source, and it really ruins your values if you work with pure white. If one thing is pure white, something can't go brighter than the thing that you made pure white. So always be careful with your extreme whites. This looks okay. What do you guys think? Do these mountains look okay? I like them. And now that we've got this layer style, and I can show you let's see. Now that we've got this layer style, we can just click our previous brush that we made. What's happening? Oh, it's because we're working in the land layer. Okay, never mind. Let's go like this. Okay, I'm messing around, trying to make Photoshop do things that it doesn't want to do. So now that I've got this layer style set in, it's heavy on the computer, but it's really nice because now I can just delete mountains, and whenever I want a mountain, I can just drop it in like this. Here's a mountain, there's a mountain, there's a mountain. Let's make more mountains. Everybody gets a mountain. Here's a mountain. This guy gets a mountain. This guy gets a mountain. Everybody gets mountains. So that's a nice thing about... okay, this is a mess. That's a nice thing about layer styles. And you can use different brushes. I really love this mountain brush that I made, but I've got multiple. So let's say I've got this guy called Mountain Tops. Which I could play around with, maybe more small mountains. And if I feel like, yeah, but this guy should have snow, I can do two things. I could go to my inner glow or outer glow? Inner glow, and play around with the range. So this tops have mountains. But another thing that I found out that I can do, I can click the mask and it will only select what I've already drawn and just add a white value on top. Like this. And then you also get, well, this is a bit too much. But then you also get snow-topped mountains like this. So that's an option. So now we're gonna figure out where we're going to place these mountains. And I can press X to change between white and black, to change between the different colors. And just like with the clouds layer on the ocean, I'm just gonna drop in a couple of them and remove them when I don't like them. Like that, and I'm just gonna play around with some different brushes to see if I can get different effects. So this could be like almost like a mesa, or how do you call them? Those flat topped mountains. But we'll I don't want a mesa right now. First I want to use to have my snow-topped mountains. So sharp ridges. Just to add some variation in Alright, chew the gum. See you later, and yeah, you get the rights on naming the crater. Until you've figured out a way to send me the crater name, I will name it Chew the Gum. So what I don't like about this brush is that it doesn't give too much variation. This one's nice. Let's see. I try to stay away from the edges of the map, so it doesn't look like that a mountain is cut off like this. That doesn't look nice. But if I want to get near, I would just do something like this and then softly try to remove some edges like this. Kylo says the crater of Shudagum. That sounds pretty epic. The Shudagum crater. And if I want to add some height, I will just make this selection. Paint on top a little bit like this. But I'm not super happy about this just yet. I like to use variation of brushes, but my favorite is my favorite mountain brush that I will use later. Uh-oh, I pressed something. What did I press? Oh, I pressed the crop tool. I don't want the crop tool. I'm just trying to figure out if I will get something that I like. Okay. Just adding and removing until I find something that I'm enjoying. Let's see. Let's clear the legs a little bit. Some sharp tops in there. Kylo is writing his own lore for this world. I like it. So this is too close to the edge. I like it. I like it. I'm just not sure about this. There's one tint in here that I'm not happy about. I think it's this one. Let's make this more neutral gray. Something like this. And let's decrease the size by 1 or 2. All right. So somehow this place looks too metallic-like, I feel. I think a lot of them look too metallic-like, so that has to do with the lighten layer. So let's reduce the lighten layer a little bit. All right. Let's check this one. Oh, don't worry, Kylo. He will be back and read the comments. So I got this layer that I'm quite happy with, and just to make sure that I won't ruin them by adding more mountains, I will create a copy of this layer. Just remove the layer mask and start painting in again, just to see if I can get something interesting. I might make slightly different mountains, or like more like this type of stuff, like smaller mountains with different colors. This is still my favorite brush. And let's change the color around a little bit. Whoa. It's crazy. Let's add some of these. Yeah, so the coolest thing is that once you've got these layer styles set, you can just drop in a lot of stuff and you don't have to worry about anything. It will just recreate the things you've already made in the layer style. Kylo asks, won't there be mountains between the plates? Well, I don't think there's actually like tectonic plates going on to the center of this island or near it. Again, I'm trying to base it on something that I already am familiar with, and I suggest you do the same, like something like an island near you. And the island I'm kind of basing this loosely on, at least scale-wise and geography-wise, is, or weather-wise, or whatever I should say, is Mallorca, Spain. And that doesn't have a tectonic plate running near it. So it does have some mountains. But not huge mountains. So you say in the Northwest Peninsula. This one? quite happy with how this is starting to look. Oops. So one thing I could do is, because I have trouble finding the right angle, I can turn off angle jitter for a second and just do it by hand by changing the angle in the brush settings. And then erasing with a different brush. Freeman asked, have you ever tried Incarnate? Yes, I did. I tried it with the trial, the free version. I haven't really dug into it. One thing that I didn't like is I bought a really expensive drawing tablet and I couldn't use my pen pressure abilities. So that's one of the big reasons why I didn't use Incarnate anymore. But I like it. It's nice. The thing I feel with map making is a couple of things. One of the things is what makes me appreciate a good map depends on two things. One thing is the amount and the eye of detail that went into it, and that's something that you can easily do with Incarnate as well. You can easily see the difference of a map that has been just tossed together real quickly, or someone that actually took their time. And the other thing that makes me appreciate style, the map, is style and graphic ability. And one thing with Incarnate is that a lot of the maps look similar because the style is similar. That doesn't mean that I can't appreciate a map that's made in Incarnate, but yeah, it's something to think about. And the thing I like about maps made by hand or by Photoshop is that you can really control everything and have your own unique style. Let's go back in the other layer. Oops. Oops. Come on. No, Kylo thinks I'm talking about games. No, Incarnate is a map making tool. Browser based, and it's really cool. You should check it out. Let's add some stuff in here as well. Just some texture. Oh, let's turn on the lakes. I forgot to turn it on. Yep. All right. So I think we're getting close to rounding off the mountains. Let me just remove a little bit of this. Oh. Make it fade into the map a little bit more. Same here. And definitely this point at the river. What's next? What's next? I'm just wondering if I like these mountains over here. I kind of don't. That's annoying. I'm just gonna drag the mountains. No, wait. Let me make the selection a bit smaller. Let's go something like this. And then we remove this lake. There we go. Ah, there's all these fine rivers. No! Okay, we have to tweak the mountain some more. Be gone, rivers. We don't want you here. Go back to whence you came. They listened. Good. They should. I don't like these colors seem to stand out a lot, so let's see if I can do anything about it. First, let's remove this. I could reduce the opacity of that area by just taking a soft round brush and drawing in with a white. And just add like 20% opacity. Sorry, with a black. That works. Alright, that works. Save. Let's think about what we're going to do next. One interesting thing that I can show you is like the nice thing about making one of those layers is like you can just grab, copy the layer style, go to your, like this is the mountains over here, and I could say paste layer style and it will completely paste in the layer style of the other map, which is awesome. That means that you can you did a lot of work already if you've got that, but that layer style is too dark for this map. Let's play around a little bit with the colors and such. I do like this this color. I like a lot, but I'm afraid it only really works with dark oceans. We can try and play around with it a little bit. Let's see. So let's grab this color. Ooh, pretty. Let's go in here. And let's see if we can just grab this color over here. Let's see if we can do something with it. I don't think it will work properly, but let's see anyway. We're here to learn. Do you guys like this darker colored ocean? I kind of do and I kind of don't. One thing that I'm noticing is one of these textures is something I don't like. I'm just trying to figure out if I like this this color better, this ocean color. All right, let's turn it off and on and see what we find. This was before, and this is after. Let's go with this color, and we're gonna reduce these cloud layers a little bit. Something like this. And then I want to play around with this this color because I really like this color. Let's save and find a cool brush to get this turquoise ocean, like what do you call them, the near the beaches where the water is always that nice turquoise color. I want to try to get it in here and there. No, I want color dodge. Let's go with this. Elias says, this looks so cool. Thanks, man. My computer is having a little bit of problems, so what I might do is flatten the mountains for the moment. Or let's close playground. Let's close playground. That's what we can do. Let's close this guy. This should help already. Alright. Just along the edges here and there. Alright, let's be a little rougher. And then we fix it by removing some like this. No mixed signal says the map is coming along greatly. Thanks, man. Just adding this beachy ocean color along the edge. This turquoise. Let's see if we can find it in Google Earth. What I'm talking about. Yeah, I need to flatten these mountains. They make my computer too slow. Alright, let's see if I can just merge without problems. Yes, alright. This should help. So I said I'm going to an island called Palma, or sorry, Mallorca. So on this scale you can hardly see it, but if you move a little bit closer you can see this turquoise beachy color that I like. This makes me super happy. Yeah, I don't know why I'm using my mouse when I can use my drawing tablet. So maybe one side of the lake is sandy and the other one isn't. Alright, we got to clean this place up. Cleaning, cleaning, cleaning. So we're at about 80 minutes at the moment. We're gonna go for 120. So about 40 minutes more. This looks really nice. This East Continent is already pretty good. I mean these turquoise colors. They make me think of summer. They just need to hug the edges, no further out into the ocean, because that wouldn't be realistic this scale wise. Thank you, Kylo. Getting there, getting there. It's a bit too heavy here. I'm just checking places that feel too much at the moment. So this place feels a bit too much. Maybe this place. Pretty good, pretty good. All right. So I'm happy with this. Clouds. More clouds or less clouds? Let's go for a little bit more clouds. All right. One problem that I feel I have at the moment is that because I darkened the ocean up, the textures on the ocean floor aren't really showing. So what I might do is play with the levels a little bit. And what I'm going to do also is I'm going to see if the clouds become prettier if I give them a color. Solicium, welcome. They do. Yep. Pretty good. Alright, I was going to play with the levels of the underlying textures. Let me grab a drink while this thing saves. So levels it is. Whoa. Super epic. Okay. Textures. Where's the textures? Here's some textures. Alright, is it better? I feel it is a bit better. I'm not sure now. All right, what I feel the shelf itself is a bit too light, but I do want the textures to come out. Could this just work? Contrast. This might work actually. But contrast also adds saturation, so we want to remove some of that saturation. Something like this might work. All right. Nice, nice. So, okay, we've got about 30 minutes left. What I want to do is I want just a little bit of variations of colors on the what's this layer doing here? On the land layers. So let's just play with that right now. Let's see. Boom. Green. No. Yeah, let's grab this color over here. Go a bit lighter and maybe a bit more this way. The problem with drawing like this that it covers everything. And we don't want it to cover everything. We want it to cover some of it. We still want to see the texture. So we could use a blend if or a blending mode. Blend if says if the layer underneath is a bit darker, will show through. Or if it's a bit lighter, will show through. So only part of it will show through. But it becomes better if you use the Alt key. So, like this. Or we could say clear layer style and just try it with a blending mode. Screen and just add maybe a tiny bit of screen to increase some of the lightness on the layer. Let's just scroll through blending modes real quick. Screen or dodge, screen or dodge. Let's check. Let's check it when we zoomed out. I think maybe dodge. Yes, definitely dodge. All right, let's clear this for a second. Grab a different brush. Alright, we're gonna do it the same way as the others. We're gonna fill it up completely and then we're gonna use paint in the layer mask. So this is gonna be a bit more of a drier area within the lens. Maybe a bit more here as well. And some here. And I like that. Let's copy it and change the color and add some more highlights here and there or some more tweaks. So let's say we wanted some sandy beaches, but the sandy beaches are gonna be super fine on this scale. So let's say sandy beaches. Sandy beaches. Kylo, you're really wanting to name stuff. Oops. Let's see how this looks. Not too happy about it. One thing we could do, oops, is this. So let's make a selection. Select modify contract. Let's do 15. That looks good. Select modify feather 15. Delete this layer mask. Use the selection as layer mask. Invert the layer mask. And now we basically got sand all over the place. But that's not something we want. We want sand at some places. So we delete this. And we're just painting in like this. Let's refine the mask real quick. Where's the refine mask button? Select the mask. Nothing's happening. Alright. Let's delete this. We're gonna try that again, but we're using smaller settings. So select modify contract. Let's go for 5. Select this better. Select modify feather. Let's go for 5. And we do the same thing. Delete layer mask inverse. Like this. This is much better. Alright. So we just want to have some of these places have beach. So this is a Summer's Bay, like really pretty beach. Yeah, that looks nice. Quite happy with this, especially where it's pretty turquoise. We want long beaches, because I heard that the ladies love beaches. Looking good, looking good. Let's grab the soft eraser. Looks nice, no? And we can go for different colors around the edges. So right now we're using the beach color, but we could copy this whole layer, delete the contents, and maybe go for a darken or a multiply. And let's see what happens then. You see, we get a little bit of little bit of this going on. This is a bit too heavy, so let's go a little bit softer. But we could use this for around rivers. Right? And rivers don't care. Okay. Just to add some variation here and there. And let's go with a whole different color. Just see how that mixes. Let's go for bright purple, just to check how that mixes. Doesn't really add much of a difference. Where did my beaches go? Where did my beaches go? Why is all my beaches gone? Uh-oh. What did I do? What did I do? I think I deleted my beaches. Guys, I deleted my beaches. Alright, another try. I destroyed all of my beaches. Oh no, here they are. Yeah, I have to redo them because now I've got these purple colors in there as well. Well, do I? Let's see. Let's go to normal. 100%. It's gonna be screen, yeah? So let's say these are my beaches. We can remove the greens by being smart. It's gonna be a screen layer, so only the little light colors will show true. So let's go to greens and reduce the lightness like that. Put it back to screen. Go to about 40%. Right, this should work. No problem, the beaches are back. The beaches have returned, good. The music, however, is gone. Music is sponsored by YouTube Audio Library. Alright. This is working. This is working, this is working. Let's add some more details. Thanks, Ross. Ross Trowbridge comes in, says, looking great. Thank you, man. What we're going to do is maybe one more layer with some color effects for the lens. Maybe something that desaturates a little bit. Okay, look, now it's the moon. Turned into the moon. Boom. Let's add a layer mask. And let's just draw around these mountains a little bit with a low opacity. Not too happy with that. Oh, this works. Yeah, this works. All right. And the last question I have is, should we add trees on this skill? So let's check our reference real quick. We've got this island over here. Now this island is not really known for its trees. So maybe we should go somewhere that has a little bit more trees to see if we should add trees. So in this size, should we add trees? We could add trees. We could add some greens. Let's make a print screen real quick. Grab this color. And let's call this trees. Did you get back to beaches? Yeah, I got back to beaches. The beaches have returned. So we could just go in like this. I guess it works. Maybe multiply it. Let's do it the same way as we did all the other stuff, by painting in the layer mask. So this works. I'm just wondering if I should add any layer effects to this, or if this would just work the way it is right now. I think it works the way it is right now. Alright, let's play around with it. This is just a round brush with scatter settings. Okay, this might take a bit longer than I was planning to, but I don't mind if you guys don't mind. What do you think of the names? Well, you know what, Kylo? I'm gonna check them out later. And then if I have time in during my summer job, I'm gonna make another stream with the names. This looks pretty good. It's gonna take a while, but it looks pretty good. Where's my music? My music is gone. So I could go even more crazy with the scattering. So let's go to the scattering, increase the count to insanity. Something like this. Music. Where's the music, man? Right. Kitty88 says, I just discovered your channel and subscribed. These look amazing. I'm throwing my CC3 in the trash as we speak. I am very novice in Photoshop, mainly use it to make items for D&D. Do you think it's possible to do this step by step if you're not a pro? Yeah. It really helps if you know the software though. So if you should start playing around with Photoshop. And I feel it's much more important to know Photoshop for these types of maps than it is to be able to draw. I've been thinking to make like a Photoshop tutorial for beginning for map makers, or like for D&D for role playing fanatics, but that will have to wait until I get back from my summer job. So probably November. Just dabbing in, blah 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 blah. Some bushes. I like it a lot, I just don't like it around the river. This is just too much, too clustered. Well, thanks for the compliments, Kitty. And yeah, just start working with the software. Start with like simple things like making outlines and using cloud layer to make lens shapes. Play around with blending modes and things like that. And then slowly but surely you'll gather enough skills to so I don't feel like I'm a pro at drawing or art, but I do feel that I'm pretty advanced in Photoshop. So for me that feels like that makes life a lot easier. I know where to find it when I press a wrong button or when I need something. I usually can guess how the layers will behave and such, which helps a lot. Yeah, I do have some step-by-steps. I've learned a lot since those step-by-steps. But in this stream you also can kind of find some of the ways that I've made maps like this. Right, and now I want to add some less clustered areas of trees. So I'm going into the scattering settings, decrease. Well, the scatter can be high, the count need to be lower. Something like this. Then I can just add more single trees like this. Wrong chat. Alright. We're getting there. Guys, in the last part of this tutorial, which is gonna be taking about 20 minutes to half an hour left, I'm gonna show you how you can play around with your finished map. So you've got a finished map, but maybe you want to add some decorations, or you want to give it a parchment effect, or you want to do some other stuff with it. I'm gonna show you a few quick tips. And even if you flatten your layer, if you flatten all your layers, there's still a lot of stuff that you can do with it. Let's see. Yep, pretty satisfied with how this is turning out. Maybe this stuff is a bit too much over here. Just checking from this scale. Alright. So I'm gonna save this as a different file, just so I have the unflattened place as a backup. This one can go. This guy can be flattened. The ocean can be flattened. Let's see if I can. Select these lakes. Never mind, I'll keep the lakes set aside for now. So basically we've got 3 layers right now. This stuff can go. We've got these 3 layers, and we can play around with them a little bit more. So we could apply this layer mask. So we just have these three layers, and now we can merge the lakes. Alright, so now we have 2 layers. We've got the land layer and we've got the ocean layer. And we can still play around with it a lot. So what you saw earlier, let's say, oh, this one can go. Let's say you want this to be a more like a snow type area. You can still mess around with this stuff. So now you've got more of a snow island, but all the colors are gone. So if you want just to tweak a couple of colors, let's say you liked greens, but you kind of want it to be more dry, you could go to hue and saturation, find your greens, and drag the saturation slider. Let's increase the range of the greens. So we select a little bit more. Something like that. And then you have a much more of a drier type of islands. I always like to tweak my colors a little bit. I usually work to desaturate it when I make a map. So I could just increase the saturation like this a little bit and do the same. Do the same for the ocean layer. And yes, Kylo is saying you could go with a red sea. That's definitely so. So let's say you want to make an island that's lying in the middle of blood. You could go like something like this. The blood seas. It's a bit crazy. So this makes me happy. Let's see. Another thing that you could do, like there's all these adjustment layers that you can use. It feels a little bit dark to me, so we can increase the brightness a little bit like this, using a curves adjustment. Maybe now the land is a tiny bit too bright. Alright, that looks okay. Let's merge all this stuff together. Kaboom. Then we've got one file. This file will be available on my Patreon. You can subscribe to any Patreon level. It's really big. It's 7000 by 16 pixels by 4961 pixels, 300 dpi. And in centimeters it is 59.4 by 42, which I think is poster size. I think it's A2 poster size. Let's check. Yes, it's A2 poster size, so that's pretty big. You can print it A2 without losing any resolution. Let's see it compared to a human being or something like that. Yeah, so that's this size. You can make it even bigger, but then you lose some detail. You'll see some pixels. Next thing, what I would like to do is, let's say you want to have a parchment border or something like that. You can just contract the selection by, let's say, 150 pixels. Maybe it's too much. Come on. Come on, come on. My Photoshop is... Oh. What happened? Select, modify contracts. 150 pixels. Why is it not becoming smaller? This shouldn't be such a heavy operation for the computer. Alright, that's weird. Let's do it the other way around. Let's just go like this. If it's gonna be difficult, we're just gonna make a cutout ourselves. We're gonna give this guy a black border. Copy the border. If snapping is on, it will automatically try to snap to the edges of the area, like this. Flip this guy around. Snap it to the top. Scale it up. Go like this, merge everything together. we've got this really thin line. Yeah. This works. Oop. Let's get rid of the thin lines. Alright, there we go. This is gonna be Ross says I want to do something like this at 8 times 4K or even 60 times to 8K, wrap around the sphere, render animations. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. The problem with working at those sizes, on my other computer, I could only make files like about 3000 pixels by 4000 pixels before it became unworkable with all these layer styles. Whereas on this new device that I've got, this Mobile Studio Pro, I can work at around this size before it gets too slow to work with. So yeah, you can do it, but if you're going to use a lot of blending layers or going to put Photoshop to the test, you will need a very good computer. Alright, we want to have some parchment. To create parchment yourself, you can just make sure you've got black and white layers selected. You can go render clouds and then render different clouds and then filter, stylize, emboss to get sort of like this parchment effect. Now of course we want to give it a bit of a parchment hue, so we're going to colorize. Let's go for something like this, less saturation, something like this. Bloop. And then we're going to use the border selection that we made earlier as a selection for this layer. And then you get this parchment effect. And you might even want the parchment effect on the whole map. So let's delete the layer mask on the bottom one. Layer mask, delete layer mask, delete layer mask. Like this, and just play around with the blending modes a little bit. So let's say you want something like, whoa, this is popping. Let's say you want something like overlay. You could drag with the opacity a little bit, and then you will get sort of like this effect. And what you can do, what's really cool, is you can either go for a stroke around this thing, for a really clean look, something like this. I do feel like this parchment should be lighter. So with a stroke you get this really clean look, but what's also fun is to remove the stroke and kind of have it blend in together, and that works really well if you've got some splash like brushes. I don't think I've got a lot of those, so I'll just grab something maybe like this and play around with different opacities and just like blend in the thing, like sort of like this. And reverse it a little. Yeah, so maybe something like this. It works better if you got like sort of these inked splosh brushes, which are easily found on the internet, but I don't want to use other people's brushes for my map making at the moment. So I'll have to look into that. So this looks pretty interesting. Let's say once you've got this detailed version of this map, it's really easy to create different types. So let's say you want a map that is more has more of a hand-drawn feel. You can play around with filters to get that effect. So let's check the filters. It's going to be a bit heavy on the software. Whoa, that's crazy. And one other thing is because you've got all this line art from the previous from when you started making these outlines, you can also use these outlines to do something. So we've got this line art. You can copy it here. And let's say you want to give a handout to your players. You could make a quick version of this, like showing a rough version of your map like that. That's also an option. My cat wants attention. Hey, oh, you're in front of my screen. Say hello to the people. My cat's saying hello. Okay. So just by you can also just extract pieces because it's quite high resolution. Let's say you don't want to show the whole map, but you just want to show like this island. You can cut it out and use that. There's a lot of things that you can do. You can give it a grid. You can give it a compass rose. I've got a compass rose somewhere. Over here. Oh. I made this in a previous stream. Let's fill this with white. Throw it under here. Put it at like 50%. So now we've got a compass rose going on. So I think we're getting close to the end of this stream. Let me guys know what you think of this thing. I'll be gone for a good while in the coming days. I will leave on Sunday and I'll go to my summer job, and I will work there as a photographer 6 days a week. So I'm not sure how much time I'll be able to stream. But if you want to make sure you catch one if I'm there, you can subscribe to my channel and press the little bell icon. I promise I won't bother you too much with too much streams and pop-ups. But if you press the bell icon, you will get a message on your phone or on your computer when I go live. So that's the thing. I will upload this map to Patreon. I will show you my Patreon. I recently made it. I don't have many patrons just yet. I've got 4, which is nice. I uploaded the height map brushes to there, so you can get those as well. My main thing that I make is these tokens that I sell on Roll20. These token sets. Let's see where. Oh, they're loading. These guys. And so you'll be able to grab those as well. And it's a way to support me if you want. I am on Twitter, I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram. My website is Online-Tabletop.com, and I put up random stuff. For this example, 50 desert ideas, combat tactics, whatever I feel like basically. Some tutorials, some world building and such. And I have a little corner of the Roll20 marketplace. And my name there is my name, Jan Loos. Well, I'm pronouncing in English now. It's Jan Loos in Dutch. And here you can find my token sets. So if you play digitally, you'll be able to use these tokens to represent your characters or your NPCs. And when you buy them, even if you don't use Roll20 that much, but you use other tabletop software, you should be able to download them. I'll just show you. There'll be a download complete set button. And then you can use them on other software as well. Yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I think tomorrow, it's Wednesday, my good friend Avant Novis will have a stream at, I think, 2100 GMT plus 1 Amsterdam time, or 11 o'clock Pacific time. But check out his channel and press his bell, because he makes super cool maps as well, but he uses software called Art Rage. For example, he makes maps like this. Super awesome. Different program, but still very, very cool. Alright guys, thank you very much. Thank you for watching my stream, and have a good day. Bye bye.